What's up, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me for an advanced look at the Batman: A Death in the Family Deluxe Edition from DC Comics. Let's get started. And welcome back, everybody. Now, this book is due to come out on April 13th in the direct market and the book market. So both places will be getting this deluxe edition. So, first of all, it's a deluxe edition, meaning that it's taller and longer than your standard edition trade paperbacks, as well as your standard edition hardcovers. So, it is a bigger book. It is as tall as an omnibus, whether it's a Marvel omnibus or a DC omnibus. Of course, the omnis are a little pricier, but also thicker. So, let's go ahead and talk about this particular deluxe edition. So, the very first thing we're going to be talking about, alright, so looking at this cover, you do have the deluxe edition in tiny little print up here. A Death in the Family, not to be confused with A Death of the Family that happened during the New 52 run. Here are all your creators: Jim Starlin, Jim Aparo, Mike DiCarlo, Marv Wolfman, and George Perez. So, you're right, this also includes A Lonely Place of Dying. So this is the spine right here with the Mike Mignola picture up there. The deluxe edition DC logo at the bottom. And then you have this Mike Mignola beautiful piece of a Robin blowing up. And death comes to us all. Only written by Jim Starlin. That dude loves killing superheroes. Alright, let's look at it under the dust jacket. By the way, this is a beautiful piece by Jim Aparo. I did not mention that earlier. And another beautiful piece by Jim Aparo that's kind of a spoiler, but I mean, we're going to be talking about some spoilers here. So just in case you're not familiar with the story, I am going to be talking about some spoilers because there's no way around it. We have to talk about what happens. I'm not going to show you exactly how. Love that they put that back there. But let's look at it together. Man, even under the dust jacket, it has a glossy look to it. So, as I showed earlier, this particular story, A Death in the Family, has been previously collected in trade paperback format. There's been a hardcover format available. And then the second story collected in here, A Lonely Place of Dying, has also been collected in trade paperback format and is part of the New Teen Titans omnibus this time around, not the original third volume of the first printing. So here we have Batman: A Death in the Family. Right off the bat, didn't even mean to say that. I can tell you the paper stock is that flat matte paper that they've used in some of the deluxe editions. Here is your table of contents right here and what is included in this book. And we're going to be talking about what is included in this book, of course, like we normally do. Here's A Death in the Family intro here. I just opened this up. I haven't even had a chance to read it, so I'm not sure if I've read this before. This is written by Scott Peterson in 2020, so I've not read this. And I think he's an editor at DC Comics, so I'll be reading that later. So here it is, A Death in the Family, Part 1, kicking off in issue 426 of Batman. So this is the post-crisis event. All the covers for A Death in the Family are provided by this young gun at the time, Mike Mignola. But the internal artwork is all done by Jim Aparo, who is my definitive Batman artist. That's the guy that I grew up with when I was reading Batman, and this is the way Batman looked to me with the black on yellow symbol on his chest. So this collects Batman 426 through 429, so it's a 4-part event. And it also collects the Lonely Place of Dying crossover with the New Teen Titans. So that happens about a year or so later. So that's issues 440 through 442 of Batman and New Teen Titans 60 and 61. So, what is the story about A Death in the Family? So, a lot of people, when I was a kid, got really confused because all over the news, and maybe all over the 5th grade news, was the fact that they were going to kill Robin. But DC did a gimmicky thing. They let you decide whether Robin lives or dies. We didn't know how exactly. We knew rumors were going around through the 5th grade halls that it could be a Joker or a Joker-like character that comes in. But we had no idea what we were in store for. All we knew was we had to call a 900 number to kill Robin. Now, when I say Robin, I don't mean my boy Dick Grayson, who eventually grew up, joined the Teen Titans, and made his own identity, even though he kind of borrowed it from a Superman story, but whatever. Nightwing. That's Nightwing. That's Dick Grayson. That was the first Robin. We're talking about the second Robin, the guy that appeared right before Crisis on Infinite Earths, and then his story kind of got retconned after Crisis on Infinite Earths. He was the kid that got caught stealing Batman's tire from the Batmobile. So Batman's like, I could change this kid's life around. I could make him a Robin. And a lot of us didn't really like him. We liked the dynamic duo. We liked the original Batman and Robin. We liked how smart and just how wonderful that dynamic was between Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne. And Jason Todd just never grew in any of our hearts. So, yes, I called the 900 number without telling my mom and dad. I remember they were pissed. I think most of us did that because all my friends were doing it. And all my friends wanted him to die. And I voted for him to die too. I didn't care about this kid. I was like, Batman doesn't need a Robin. He's going to get me Batman and Nightwing. That's what I wanted. And I thought that's what was going to happen. But it didn't. So, the entire story is about how Tim Drake is trying to find his real mom. I'm sorry, not Tim Drake. I'm jumping the gun here. How Jason Todd... It's actually a sweet story. It's about how he's trying to find his real mom. And there are different possibilities as to who his real mom is. And holy crap, when he finds his real mom, what a piece of garbage she turns out to be. But I'll let you find out why that is. But yes, this is going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt me. That line is forever embedded into my head because I felt bad. And when you all can see that for yourself, how exactly he dies. I felt bad for the kid. I was like, maybe I shouldn't have called that 900 number. Sorry, Jason. And he dies. You can find out exactly how that happens. And, there's a little bit of a spoiler here, but you yourself can find out how it all went down. Then we have the funeral, and then Superman's like, Bruce, was Jason Todd Robin? And, Batman's pissed because he's letting... ridiculous idea that Joker is now an ambassador. And anyway, you can find, that's one of my favorite pictures of Joker. That to me is what the Joker will always look like. This long skinny chin, kind of a douchebag look to his face. Oh, I love that cover. I think I may still have that comic somewhere. I think out of all my DC comics I got rid of, I may have kept that one. But you can find out exactly how Batman gets his revenge by reading the fourth part. We get to this story arc called A Lonely Place of Dying. And this is like where a lot of the audiences and DC editorial decided, you know what, Batman doesn't need to be by himself. Robin's been dead for about a year, so Marv Wolfman steps in, joins Jim Aparo, and George Perez does some of the co-plotting in this, and introduces us to a new character of Tim Drake. And Tim Drake's kind of a smart guy. He figures out that Batman is Bruce Wayne and that at one time Dick Grayson was Robin and Jason Todd, Robin, had passed away. He's like the smartest kid in the DC universe. And he's trying to get Dick Grayson and Batman, Bruce Wayne, back together. He's like, look, Batman will always need a Robin. You need to balance him out. And that's kind of what this story is. And I'll let you find out how that all plays out. But man, this is an awesome story. And Tim Drake, my favorite Robin of all time. Sorry, Jason Todd. But, what ends up happening to Jason Todd? Kind of cool. It worked out in his favor in the end. The book, by the way, has 280 pages and retails for $49.99. Let's look in the back here for some extras. So here we have the extras. Robin will die because the Joker wants revenge, but you can prevent it with a phone call. There we go. This is the actual house ad where you can call the 900 number, the Joker fails and Robin lives, or the 900 number like I did, the Joker succeeds and Robin will not survive. Then say die. I like that. Here are the pages by Jim Aparo of what if he did die. He had to draw ahead of time, right? These comics were coming out every month, so he had to draw it ahead of time, so they had to draw both scenarios. What if he had lived? So this is the He's Alive panel, which is right here, which later on they end up using in an annual. I think it's annual number 25, which ties into the Red Hood. And I don't know if that page is in here. Aha! Right here it is. So, was that right? Batman, yep, annual number 25. You can find out how this all ties into the Red Hood story arc that's going through those pages. This is from the hardcover. This is the classic library edition that collected both Death in the Family and Lonely Place of Dying. And then there's an interactive movie? Alright, I don't know what that is, but cool. Then bios on the creators. Not much on extras. I was hoping for more house ads or pages, like extra pages of original artwork. Okay. There is a little intro by Marv Wolfman right after the death in the family and A Lonely Place of Dying. Now, we talked about the paper quality, but let's talk about the binding. What we're looking at is sewn binding, and you can see the glue down there, but all the bunches going into the ribbon. But that's it. That, as they say, is that. And that was the content and page count of this particular deluxe edition. Let me know in the comments down below if you're picking this up, if you're upgrading from your trade paperback, if you already had it in a hardcover edition, and what you thought of the stories. Did you also call that 900 number? Do you want your money back? Anyway, I would love to know all those comments down below. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel. Both of those links are in the description of this video. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. More importantly, please everybody, stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.